All right, let's talk about making online videos for your classroom. Now, this can work with any subject, not just math, by following some of these simple guidelines that I've come up with. But first, why should you do this? Well, we're really in the environment where it looks like we're going to have to do some type of online learning next year, whether blended or fully virtual, who knows? But it's a good idea to have your lessons recorded, even if this wasn't the case, because everyone gets sick. As a teacher, I'm sure you've come to school sick because you're like, I can't let the kids fall behind. I have to go, and it's an important day to be there. Having a video lesson will kind of make that decision easier, so that you, as a teacher, you're not going into school sick and maybe infecting students, or just not feeling yourself uh, and teaching the lesson. You can have the sub play the video instead. Also, the students, a lot of times, especially in math, the kids will say, I don't feel well, but I know that we're learning something important today, so I had to come so I could at least get the math uh, lesson today, and then I'm going to go home. And, that's kind of a mixed bag for me, because I'm flattered that they come just for my class, but I'm also kind of bothered that they feel that they had to come just for my class when they're obviously not feeling well. So instead of them coming to school while they're sick and exposing everyone to that, they can watch the video at home and not fall behind. Now, I do not think this is a substitute for live teaching at all. This is just one of those situations where um, we can use technology to our advantage. Here's the finished copy of the notes that I do on my tablet computer. And I just record myself going through them, and I'm writing them on the tablet as I speak. And then I upload the video to YouTube for the kids to watch. All right, let's look at some ways that you can record videos for your classroom. I use something like this, the Acer Spin. I use an older version because I've had mine for a couple years now. And then what I do is I have the PDF loaded up, like I said, and I just write on this as I record my screen, and then I save a copy of the completed notes and the video and upload it for students to watch. I understand that $650 is a lot. There are some other cheaper alternatives. I just personally haven't used them, so that's why I don't want to put them in the video. But pretty much anything that has an active stylus is something that's going to work. I highly suggest going to a store if you're purchasing one and trying it out to see if you like it. Most classrooms will now have a document camera of some type, and you could connect this to your computer. I don't have this one. I couldn't find the one that my school has to show you guys, but we have probably the older version of this Epson one, and this one has an SD card slot, so you could record right to the SD slot, but it also has a USB port where you can plug it into the computer and record your lesson to the computer that way as well. So if you have a document camera, I'm sure there is some way to record a lesson through your document camera. This is just another document camera that I used an older version for at one of my previous schools, and it worked really well. Again, this is something that has a way to connect to the computer and record your lessons that way as well. I wouldn't spend $3.99 for this. People have been buying this up a lot because they want to create their own videos. So this price is super inflated. All right, so now that you have a way to get your document camera onto your computer screen or to use a tablet, how do you actually record what's happening on your screen? I use Screencastify. They have a free version that will let you record an unlimited number of 5-minute videos, so that might be good enough for what your intentions are. They do have a school pricing discount of $30 for the year, and you get to record unlimited lengths of video, and then you can also merge and reorder the clips. I don't really use the editor. We'll look at it though, but the unlimited recording length is definitely where it's at. And at $30 a year, you might be able to get your district to Spring for that. Another reason I like using Screencastify is that it automatically uploads to Google Drive, and I could share it right to Google Classroom or publish on YouTube right from here. I don't like to do it that way. I kind of like to download it and edit it first. That's why in the title name, I always put raw so that I know that this is the unedited raw footage, so that if I ever wanted to come back to it, I know that this is exactly how I recorded, with mess ups and with pauses and all that other stuff. Now, as far as audio, you could use the audio built into your computer. That's fine to record your voice. I purchased one of these, and that's what I'm using right now, so you can kind of be the judge of, the audio quality. If you think this is good, then you might want to consider this. If you think that this is crappy, you may want to get a different microphone. I found for recording lessons that this microphone is just fine. Honestly, you could probably just use the one that comes in with your computer, and that would be fine as well. Now, I understand not everyone may want to use your document camera or computer, or may not have access to it. You could use a device like this to get your cell phone and put it in the holder, and then you could, tilt the phone down, and then through that you could record your lesson using your smartphone and record and get the video from there and upload it to YouTube or wherever you want to go. They have a version that clamps onto the desk like this, and then they also have a stand one where you don't have to clip it to the edge of a table. But same idea, it holds the phone and it allows you to record what is going on. If you're doing the notes on your desk, you can record it and go from there. Now, when you're recording videos, what I recommend is every so often pause and wait a couple seconds. That way, if you mess up, you can go back in the editing software and find where you messed up and just edit that out, and you're not having to redo the whole lesson. There's been a couple times where I've done, a good 15 minutes of a lesson, and then I make a mistake or I stumble over something, and I'm like, you know what, I got to start all over, and now I started from the beginning. But because I pause every so often, I can just edit that part out and maybe only lose a couple minutes of recording that way. Now, there is an editor in Screencastify, so if you would click on Open an Editor, it will open up the video for you, and you can go through and cut things out using the Snip Tool right here. So this is a free option if you have Screencastify to use. I don't like it because I can't really tell what's going on from the video. I can't hear anything unless I hit play. So if I want to edit out any of those pauses that I talked about, I would really have to listen to pretty much the whole video to find those. What I like to use instead is a program called Adobe Premiere Elements. Now, Adobe Premiere Elements, it is an expensive program at $70, but I think it's well worth it, and let me show you why. Here's what it would look like in here, and this looks very intimidating, I understand, but all we're really doing is cutting video, cutting things out. So this little scissor thing right here is how you would cut video. I talked about those pauses in between examples. So this right here is an audio wave. Right here, there's not much going on here. So you know that this is dead space where I'm not talking. So if I want to get rid of that, I can just cut over here, cut again, and then delete, and it's gone. If we go down here and say, okay, where did I mess up? Maybe I messed up in this example here, where all this audio is going on. Maybe I messed up there. So now I can just cut that out, and that mistake is now gone, and I can either re-record it or put in the newer version there. The benefit of doing it this way is when we look at the finished version, so I'm going to show you the finished version of the same video. I just have a bunch of clips here. So if I decide that this example that we're talking about right here, let's say I don't like how I explain example number 2, or if I change my notes to something different for example number 2, I can just delete this part only, redo whatever example number 2 is, and put that back in here without having to redo the whole entire video. That way, I'm saving a lot of time, and if I want to make changes, I don't have to weigh in. Do I want to have to record the whole video again just for this change or not? You just can re-record that example and put it in here. So I hope that this was useful to you guys. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I'll help you as best as I can. Thanks for watching.